Hey, what's going on, everybody? Boilon here, and welcome to the Spotlight Raids. So, yes, I have been able to get access to Spotlight 1, difficulty 2 here on the test server, and this video is going to be broken up into two parts. The first part is going to be me going over the rewards and how it scales from D0 to D2, because there's going to be some removal of the T4s from the incursion raids, doom raids, whatever you're doing, the purple raids, they're calling it, and also because we're losing gold orb fragments from the Greek raids and it's being shifted to raw gold. So I want to go over all of the major resources in the Spotlight raids and how it scales from D0 all the way up in the different difficulties and percentages and things like that. In the second part of the second part of the video, we're going to be going over a mixture of gameplay and simming, because I want to see what's possible in D2, and if I suddenly start to fail on the sim, we'll do some manual, but I want to talk about my experiences with this anyways, because I did actually do a D0 version, which was initially on the playtest server, and that was a bit of an auto fest. So I'm hoping that D2 presents a little bit more of a challenge. So if you're ready to go, everybody, let's boil this down. Okay, and we're here in the resources section. This is the big resource spreadsheet that I made for the Spotlight raids. And I want to start by talking about the T4s that are getting changed. So originally in the purple raids, basically anything Doom 2 or 3 and above, you were getting essentially 20 T4s a day in your reward payouts. And over 14 days, this was 280. If you got in the top 1,000 of your raid season, you got about 140. So with this in mind, and that's going to be being removed on June the 9th. So keep that in mind as well. This total was about 420 on a 14-day schedule. And so we're benchmarking the T4s in the Spotlight raid with this in mind. Their blog promise was that we would get a 60% boost in ability materials. So I think that messaging is a bit weird, but hey, let's take a look at the T4s. This is D0, this is D1, this is D2. Basically, everywhere that's a red is less than what we got before. And so it's not until you get about D1 40% where it breaks even. It's the same amount pretty much. And then D2 40% is a little bit more colored by the shading. And so realistically, it's when we start getting 70%, it's when we start clearing the nodes with Alpha Flight, where actually you're getting significantly more, especially in the 70% range at like D2. That's quite a bit more, from 420 to 630. It's not quite the 60% of an average alliance. I don't know what they meant by that. But if you are able to do D1, or sorry, any of them at 100%, you're getting a lot more. So D1 and D2 particularly at 100%, 700 and 770, that's quite a bit more than the 420 you're getting before. So on average, this is about an increase of anywhere from like 300 to 600, depending on what you're doing, T4s a month, and that's probably pretty good. That's an extra couple more abilities per month than you got before if you're running these difficulties. So that's pretty good. Now, secondly, I want to talk about the gold that we're getting, or what's changed. So on average, I would say from Greek raids, you were getting about almost 3 million gold a month, or sorry, over 14 days, sorry, not per month, for 2 weeks. From the gold orbs that were contained in the Greek raids. Now it's shifting over to just flat gold. I want to take a look at those over here, and you can see the different amounts. And ignore the colors. I just copy and pasted it from the one above, so ignore this. But you can see that it's roughly 400,000 daily at D0 10%, all the way up to 445k, and then 460k, and then 520k, all the way up to 565k at D2 100%. And you can see the totals over 14 days. So anywhere from 5.6 million to about 7.9 million gold every 14 days. Now, one thing that I want to talk about is that, well, the EV of the gold orb was about 215,000. You also just won't get, there's no jackpot anymore, right? So even though it was an EV of 215, there is those small chances that you could get a 1 million, a 2 million, a 3 million jackpot, etc. And so that's just not happening anymore. It's just flat rewards. So it is more than we got before. It's anywhere from 2 to 3 times as much gold, actually. It's just there's no chance of jackpots anymore. So that's a little bit of a shame. And there's going to be a lot less gold orbs in circulation in the game, I think, as a result of that. But the meat of the rewards is going to come from the red gear, and it's quite substantial. So we're going to start with talking about the red gear orbs, the G19 regular red crimson gear orbs. And so you can see the table here, D0, D1, D2, and D0, 10%, 7 orbs over a 14-day period. So daily, it's not a lot. But once you start getting into like the D1, D2 kind of range, especially in the 40%, you can see that over 14 days, you're getting like 53 orbs at D1 40% and 70 orbs at D2 40%. Keep in mind, this is all the Spider Society section as well. Now, once you get Alpha Flight and you can start reaching 70% and 100%, it starts to go up quite dramatically. So D170 is 88 orbs over 14 days. D270 is at 105 orbs over that much time. And this doesn't change at 100, actually. So it's mostly 70 and 100. This is a lot of orbs. So I get on my Incursion 2.3 about 10 orbs per day on the red gear orbs. That's at the 70% mark, I do believe. And so that's quite substantial that you're getting not quite a doubling, but it's pretty close. Like it's a lot of red gear that you're not that you're getting now that you didn't before. Now, as far as the Armory 19 orbs go, you get some of those as well, but you don't get them until the 70% mark, and it's pretty low. It's not a ton. Like when you get to about D1, D2, it's like 5 orbs every 14 days, 7 orbs over 14 days. 100% is a little bit better at like 9 and 11 at D1 and D2. It's not a ton, but obviously they're worth quite a bit, right? Because I think one Armory Orb gives you 4 minis, which makes it worth 1.6 million gold per. So let's just say, for sake of argument, you're getting 7 over 14 days, times this by 1.4 million gold, and that's an extra 9.8 million gold worth of red minis that you weren't getting before, right? So if you put that into perspective and how much gold value it has, it's quite good at D2 70%. But again, this is going to be when you start doing Alpha Flight nodes and things like that. So overall, really good value in terms of the red gear side of things. And even the gold, I think, even though it's a flat gold increase, everything is actually an improvement. So they didn't lie about that. Let's just move away from the language of like, it's 60% better in T4s because, well, that really varies. Like, what's an average alliance? Anyways, let's move on to the gameplay section where we're going to be talking about the actual raid. Okay, so we're back over here on the gameplay where we've done the resources by now, and I want to talk about though the stat changes basically from D0 to D2. So most of the enemies in the normal difficulty, I believe, are doable by G16 characters. G1685 is probably the benchmark for D0, and then they're about 300 to 400k enemies, but don't let that scare you because their hit points are actually pretty low. But when we go up to different difficulties, D1 is about a 25% increase. It's not actually that much, so I honestly don't know how much harder that's going to be. This could be the G17 range, but honestly, I don't even know if it'd be that high. I think you could still do this at G16, but it's D2, and that's where things will get interesting, I guess, is where it's 100% jump more or less, from D1. So that's where things could get a little bit more challenging, especially on the resistance and damage side of things, because the enemies that you're going up against is interesting. Keep in mind that you have like two to three players on each of these lanes because now they've changed this raid so that basically it's eight people now instead of 6. If you caught the blog post, it's now 8 people per team. It's 3 teams of 8, not 4 teams of 6. So now it's even easier to clear this because on the sides you're probably going to have 3 people, and then actually it doesn't matter. You're going to have 2 lanes of 3 people and then 1 lane of 2 people. So you're going to have a lot of help to get through these nodes. So I just want to see, now that we've talked about all that, can my Extreme X-Men, do I have a save squad? I don't know if I do actually, because maybe I do. This is the test server. No, okay, I fucked that up. Okay, let's go for Extreme X-Men, and I just want to see, because they're probably one of the best raid teams. Now keep in mind, these are 7 yellow, 7 red, but they're not diamond characters, but they're G18 and level 100. So do keep that in mind. I think that's fine there. Oh, hey, you know what? We don't have a sim token. Maybe I can ask for that and come back. Okay, we're back. We got a sim token. So I want to see, does this work on the sim, right? I mean, these are pretty high level characters, but they're not diamonds. And so this will give a good idea whether or not, for those of you who are kind of playing at the top, Incursion 2.3, is this good enough? Now, I do want to keep in mind that what I saw was that there's only 5 sims. So Cyclops died. That's interesting. I only have 5 sims. So maybe we will try and do all the way up to Spider Society, and then we'll play. Cyclops died. You know what? Can we change him with Old Man Logan? I think maybe that might actually. I've been doing this in my raids actually. We'll be talking about this in a separate video actually. In fact, now I know that my Old Man Logan is probably going to be higher than other people's because I think they gave us 7/7. So let me double check. Works for money. Oh, what? Oh, I didn't upgrade my, okay, hold on. Fine, we'll just use regular Cyclops. Normally, I would use Old Man Logan. He's very good. Well, I don't know what the fuck they're doing here. Come on. Anyways, ignore my rambling. In the future, I would replace Cyclops with Old Man Logan. I think it does better. We'll see if we actually clear this or not. This one's harder because this one has Apocalypse, so... Do I beat it? Oh, okay, I did, but this time Nightcrawler died. I don't know why. But so maybe if I had Old Man Logan instead of Cyclops, it would be more reliable. I just want to get us to the Alpha Flight section, so I need to upgrade my ISOs again, do I? Oh, God, okay, hold on. All right, we're back. I fixed my sim problem. Again, I do want to say that these are level 100 G18 characters, no diamonds, though. So this is probably going to be higher than what you guys have. But let me tell you, it's not super exciting. Unless it turns out that they kick my ass. And there's the one node that I'm... Oh, why does one person keeps dying every time we do this? This is the node that I think will maybe fuck us up. But I think node 3... I think the boss is pretty easy. Why is one character randomly dying? Is this like built into the code? Because like it seems really strange. Like one person's just dropping off. Cyclops, I'm not super surprised about, but I'm kind of surprised over here that that's happening. Well, let's see. Because if this is happening regularly, then... Oh, they all died! Oh, no. Okay, that's interesting, because these are higher. This is a higher Spider Society team than I would have on my main account. Which means that you probably don't want to sim this. So let's go back in and, I guess, see what happened. And maybe I might attempt to sim the next node just because I want to get it. You know, I want to do some gameplay, I suppose, of Alpha Flight. I know that people are going to want to see this, and I might have to do this in a separate video because it'll take a while to do manual and all. I'm more curious, especially for those of people who are lazy and just want to sim through it. I think that maybe you could, because if you're having multiple people, right, and so that's the other part of it, is having multiple people to help you do this, which would make you, it will allow you to do that, but you know, then you're wiping, right? And so I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing or not. Let's go over here on this Observing Man though with Noir, that Red Hulk that I'm kind of scared of, but let's go with the ultimate, I guess. You know what? Why not? Why are slows not being applied? Oh wow, that did a lot of damage actually. I don't know where their cooldowns are at, but let's just go in with an offense down, I guess, on everyone. Nova's lost his charge. He's just sitting there doing nothing. Oh, he was facing the wrong way for a while there. Okay, now I think we can auto it. You know, part of me thinks like because that penny alt is super important. I think that you probably could semi-auto it. I think that if you're kind of targeting specific characters, then you can do it that way, because I think this team is still really powerful. I'm kind of shocked that I managed to wipe on this node. I did all this stuff on D0 and it was just an auto cakewalk, honestly. So it might come down to you semi-playing it. And the fact that there's only 5 sims, you know, I guess that's quite interesting as well, because you won't be able to sim the entire raid by yourself. So there we are. That's Spider Society. Now, again, I'm curious. So this was the leader, Iron Patriot and leader kind of node here with some other characters. There was some Starbrand, I believe, and some weird Ironheart Mark II. I think this is easier than the second node. I think the second node is going to be the hardest one. I would be quite surprised if I wiped. Yeah, okay. So why does Ghost Spider keep dying? I don't understand. But anyways, we did manage to clear. So it's this second node here that I would watch out for, and I would probably manual that one just to be safe. The rest of the ones, honestly, I do feel it is doable on a sim. It's entirely up to you and how much you're punching up, I think, and what your team looks like. Now we're going to get to the Alpha Flight section, and it's funny because it's making me use 100 cores because I've already done this on D0 today. But here we go. Let's... Oh, wait. Haha, I need to fix my ISOs again. All right, we're back. It seems like they reset my characters between the last time that I did this. So I want to let people know that basically I am running 5 yellow, 5 red on the newer characters, Guardian, North Star, and Sasquatch. And for some reason, North Star's at G17 and not G18. So just to put that into perspective a little bit here for you guys, Wolverine and Sunfire are 7 yellow, 7 red though, because they're older characters. And I'm going to do this completely on manual. And I want to see how well these characters perform at what I think is a reasonable level to expect for D2. In terms of, you know, like most people who are doing D2, I think are going to be people running Incursion 2.3. And so I would expect that these characters be at least G1895, in my opinion. Free to play though, I mean, this is kind of like in the 4-star range, I think. Yes, I'm at 5, but I couldn't do anything about that. And what I said about this node is the same. I'm going to get blocked here by Pandapool a little bit here. So you can see that Alpha Flight is really good. They have a shit ton of buffs. Which is great. I'm going to go over here with the ultimate. Flips immunity to stun, apply stun. I do want to apply that stun to Pandapool, though. Oh, no, he can't get stun. Oh, I thought he had a thing where he can't be stunned, I thought, unless he's under a certain percentage. But maybe that's not the case. Can I kill him? No. Okay, we didn't kill him. And then that flips. North Star is just amazing. So if they don't have Safeguard, like, everything's getting flipped. They have so many debuffs. For Forge would be the another character that I'd want to maybe apply trauma to. I don't want them to kind of clear those X-Men buffs and kind of things over there. But I mean, they're just so powerful. And then once one person dies, you'll see right here, they get so much crap. Like they get energy, they get barrier, and everyone gets debuffed. Why Pandapool shook off, or why he revived? Is that just a thing that he does? And this is where you get stuck behind Panda. This happened on my other run too, where you kind of get stuck behind Pandapool a little bit. Because he's got safe. Does he have Safeguard? No, he doesn't have Safeguard, actually. Maybe that's just in war. But either way, I mean, it's still kind of annoying. Anyways, we killed... no, we didn't kill Deadpool. We might here, though. Yeah, there we go. And so, again, when you kill people, you get all these buffs, and you get all the barrier and all this energy, and it's honestly pretty crazy. And so I think that you can... This team is so good on these nodes. I didn't really have a problem. He's going to try to do that. I guess it did cleanse Nightcrawler. I thought Nightcrawler had a trauma. I guess not. And I'm still kind of stuck against Pandapool. This is the biggest problem on this first node here. So I could see this being a bit of an issue if A, Pandapool revives, but B, if you just can't get through him, if your characters are not. So that sucks. I didn't have such a hard time killing Pandapool the first time. Like, I'm on him a little bit more than I was before. The good thing, though, about Alpha Flight is that it doesn't really matter where your cooldowns are when you end the node, because really, you're going to get all this back from Sunfire because he gives 6 energy on spawn, which is quite substantial. And now, basically, I'm going to go straight into Nightcrawler, actually, to finish this node off. Oh, okay, I thought I had Nightcrawler targeted. I guess not. This team is very powerful, though. And so this is a win. We're going to move on to node number 2. All right, coming in at node number 2, and I think this is actually going to be the harder one here because of the enemies on here. Largely, you just want to deal with Pav, but I'm wondering how Morgan Le Fay is going to work on D2 with the high resistance race that she normally has in other raids. So we're going to give this one a go. Oops, I forgot to start recording. Yeah, so it basically, the nodes started off with Pav attacking me. So both Pavs spawn in. They do a lot of damage, actually. This is kind of concerning that North Star is like almost dead already. Now, as far as a stun goes, I actually want to go over here on Kang. I'm concerned if what if North Star dies before everyone gets going? So I want to go in for a kill, because if Wolverine gets a kill, we did, then everyone else is going to get debuffed. Like all of that, like that, and all of that. So that's good. And then I'm going to blind. Actually, it probably doesn't even matter. I'm just going to flip. North Star's ultimate is just way too good. So I'm going to go back to the semi-auto here, and I'm going to kind of try and focus my attacks a little bit here. I'm actually concerned about quite a few of them. I originally said that you probably want to go after Pav, but really I'm actually concerned that a lot of them are very high damage characters. And this is a lot more challenging on D2 than I had on D1. Sorry, on D0. On D0, this was a joke, honestly. It was a bit of a walk in the park. And here it's being a little bit more challenging. Like, yeah, they do have quite a few debuffs here. And I think it's autoable, probably. I don't know if it's simmable necessarily, but I know that it's like semi-autoable here. Because as long as I choose my targets, I think that's okay. And I'm concerned about when the next wave drops, because there is Morgan Le Fay. You can see a lot of my characters are almost on death's door, but they have a lot of drain. So the more damage that Alpha Flight does, the more drain they get, and that's good. I don't know if I would have needed to save certain things. So there, that's the Morgan Le Fay drops, and that's the Peter B. Parker and Penny. I need to kill somebody though. I need to kill somebody to share the debuffs, and that's probably where I would stop the semi-auto a little bit here, just to make sure. Hopefully that swings over to Kang. There we go. We killed Kang, so now they're all gonna get debuffs, and that's fine, I think. And I'm actually more concerned about Morgan Le Fay than I am Peter and Penny. I don't think that's going to be as big of a deal. I should have clicked over here, actually. So I don't think it's as big of a deal. They're all traumatized as well, so I think that's fine. So I'm actually... This was the most concerning node, and I think I'm pretty happy with how this went. So as long as you can kind of get through Morgan Le Fay, which it seems that you can do, but if you're running D2, which is going to get you a significant amount of rewards, like if you guys checked out the beginning part of the video where we went over all that, I think this is the expectation is like 95 plus G18. Like you want to max these characters out when they come out. You might be able to get away with a little bit less, but you're going to have to be very specific with your manualing, and you might have to rely on some of your partners, possibly. And, you know, that could be what they're intending to do. What I said about the raid nodes is still the same. I mean, you're having a lot of players in the raid with a low number of nodes, in my opinion. So over the course of a 24-hour period, like, yeah, there's 2 or 3 of you, right? So hopefully one of you can clear it, I guess is the idea. You know, there's 2 regular nodes, 3 Spider Society nodes, and 4 Alpha Flight nodes, plus a final boss. So 9/10, of which the final boss is doable by everyone. Now, the same thing happened if you, my preview on this node is that basically the Void Knights are going to go first, and we're going to get ability blocked, and hopefully we get through that, and then we just need to target one person. And I think that's how Alpha Flight really operates, is that you just want to down one person first, they all get debuffed, and then you kind of move on and kind of things snowball from there. So that's kind of the expectation that I have on this one. But D2 is definitely a bit more sketchy in terms of like my characters getting low health. So I'm going to do the semi-auto thing again, and I'm going to focus on Void Knight over here. So we're going to get attacked by Hive Mind first, though, because they have their raid buffs, which means Gwenum and means the other 2 Void Knights, but I should be able to do this. It pulls them together, it does ability block, but it doesn't flip because they have safeguard, so that's not really a big problem. I'm going to go over here. They don't really have any buffs, though, and that's kind of my main target there. I'm going to try to get 1 Void Knight down. That's kind of like my main thing. He's got defense down already. But they're all basicing, right? Pretty much. Actually, I think Sasquatch basic clears negative stats effects. So I think that's how Sunspot was able to shake off his ability block. I think that was a thing. But now we're stuck behind Beta Ray Bill. So this is interesting because like we're at like half health here, and I'm quite concerned about this one now. This went a lot differently in D0. It was not a problem at all. Can we get back over to Void Knight? No, we need to get through that taunt and like, can I move semi? There we go. We need to get that Void Knight dead. Oh shit. North Star is stunned? That's not good. Oh, he shook off his stun. I don't know how he does that, actually. I needed to know the kits a little bit better. But we need to kill somebody. Actually, at this point, Beta Ray Bill's closer to dying. So maybe we can kill him off. Please? There we go. Okay, and now they all get debuffed. Trauma and all that. So we're good to go, I think, at this point. Yeah. Okay. So it was shaky at the start, right? And I think this is a good idea that it tells you kind of like what kind of investment that you need in these characters, right? And I think that that's a good idea. That, yeah, as high as you can, because if they start off the bat and they get effed up, it's a bit of a problem. Now I'm gonna auto back over to Ghost Rider Robbie because I know he might start gaining charges and do his little spitty thing, maybe. Maybe. Now that North Star special though, just blinds everywhere. It's crazy. He's not getting charges. I thought he gets charges whenever he gets. Is that an arena only? No, I don't. When allies got hit, I thought. So that's not a problem. The big shaky part was at the start there. Let's move on to the final boss node. And we have the boss node here again with like some weird mixtures of characters, Iron Patriot and whatnot, and some other random ass characters. I think this node will be easy, but I said that about the other one, didn't I? And we'll see. I think the biggest challenge is whether or not your characters can survive the initial onslaught before they get going. And that's the whole shtick with Alpha Flight, is that you want to kill someone ASAP. and then move on to everything else. And I think once even one person dies, everything starts to kind of fall over. So let's see about this. Now, I think we'll get stuck behind Lizard, maybe. No? Okay, so you have actually turn 1 here and apply stun. Honestly, I'm going to do that on Viv, because she can flip, right? So we're going to target her first. We might end up getting stuck behind Lizard, though. I'm just wondering, can I kill Viv before anything massive happens? Maybe I should have stunned Lizard. Maybe that, like, now I'm going to get stuck a little bit. Now he's got a shit ton of buffs here, actually. That's something that you might want to consider. Their health is a fair bit more than what was on D0, though. I'm a little bit surprised, actually, that we still didn't manage with some AoE. We didn't manage to actually kill Viv. And we're going to get, like, 2 Iron Patriot attacks back-to-back, and I'm... that... Oof, ooh. Good thing I have death proofs, but yeah, boy. North Star there is... Oh my god! Not looking good. Is he going to die? Oh my god, he's going to die to the rebound. Oh my god. They're all dead! Okay, this was super easy on D0. Not the case here. Maybe you need like a two. It's gonna be a 2-person attack, like to blow cooldowns. That's what it looks like. Wow. Or you just need a bigger Alpha Flight. Interesting. So I guess we'll come back. I'm gonna come back and auto it, I guess, when I revive here. And see what happens. All right, we're back for round 2. Stupid Lizard. I don't know if that's the reason why I died or not. So maybe I should have just, stunned him. Although at this point, I really want to kill Ironheart because it's going to trigger all of those debuffs like this. Oh, he killed 2, even better. So at this point, I want to go over on Iron Patriot. So I don't think this is going to be that hard the second time around. And maybe that's one of those cases where if your Alpha Flight is a little bit smaller, that you're going to have to maybe rely on, a 2-tap on getting this done. Most likely from one of your alliance mates, because you're not going to want to heal up a full team for 250 raid packs every day. So this, even that actually was a lot of damage. Wasn't able to really and they have offense down. That hit really hard actually for offense down. I guess as long as he doesn't die. The Alpha Flight doesn't have revive mechanics, so that's the only issue I would have with this. And then Cosmic Ghost Rider, I think, but then, oh, you know what? We could get stuck on Lizard again. We need to kill somebody to trigger those debuffs. I actually think that we might need to focus on Lizard, get him stunned somehow, or with... Is he going to get another stun there? Actually, that's good. That's fine. And then move over to Cosmic Ghost Rider. So yeah, semi-auto I think is the way to go. But there's so many freaking tanks here. I'm so glad he was disrupted. But every time, yeah, there's so much barrier. Interesting raid, for sure. It's definitely a lot harder on D2 than it is on D0 when I basically face walked. It was a cakewalk, auto fast. I didn't even sim it, actually. I just manual autoed and I had 0 problems with it. So it's quite a significant difference between D2. I think D1, because of the stats that I mentioned earlier on, I think that D1 is going to be fine as well. And it's not going to be that challenging. It's this D2 that I think it's that initial sort of making sure you're hitting the right targets and also making sure that you just have, it's a gear check, honestly. I think it's a gear and rank check, which is sucky because, I think they're level 100, the Alpha Flight, but they're 5 yellow, 5 red. So I don't see this becoming a problem here. I was kind of want to just skip to the boss node, the final boss node. I think we're fine. Right? There we go. We killed Iron Man. It's going to trigger debuffs on everyone else. I think we're good. So we're going to move on to the final boss and see how that goes with Alpha Flight. So we're here at the final boss level, and I realize you can use any characters that you want. And this actually looks pretty crazy because there's a Super Scroll that's like 1 million. There's a Black Knight, 2 Black Knights, in fact. So I'm not entirely sure what you should be using to do this. You could literally use anything, and there's 8 of you, right? So we're just for shits and giggles. I'm actually going to use... we actually ended this kind of weaker. I'm actually going to use Alpha Flight just to give this a go. And if we can't clear this on the first go, then we are going to back out of this because other people are playtesting this, and I don't want to ruin it for them. or ruin the experience to them. So we're going to see how far we can get on this final node, which I think because there's potentially 8 people smashing one final boss, I think that that's probably what you're going to do. I imagine that you're not, based on how powerful the enemies are, you're not going to be able to just one-shot this in 5 minutes. 17 enemies with Super Scroll. He's going to go, right? Super Scroll's definitely going to... Oh, no, he did. Oh, all right, because of Alpha Flight's kit. I forgot. So let's do a stun on Panda Pool so he doesn't taunt. There's 2 of them, though, so... Can we get a trauma out? How do we trigger the trauma? Let's go. Can we kill Panda Pool? This Panda Pool, maybe? Yeah. And Corvus. That's good, actually. Blind? Does blind work on Super? I don't think so. Does any of these do trauma? It does do trauma. Oh no, extends other than trauma. Okay, that doesn't work. But it does disrupt actually, so that might do something. So many debuffs on them. Wow. One of these do trauma. That does trauma. Okay, so we're gonna do a trauma over here. It does AoE trauma. So that's a trauma on Super Scroll. So that's good. That's good. Can we stun him? I don't think so. But we can do a striker attack over here on Ebony Maw. And he's almost dead. Wow. So like it's just this scroll. He shouldn't get any buffs for that though. Yeah, okay. But it did do a lot of, oh my god, it did do a lot of damage though. So offense up, slow. Honestly, at this point, I think I want to get rid of Panda Pool over there. I need to find a way to stun Super Scroll when he's gone. I think I'm pretty sure that only Guardian can actually stun. I think his ultimate is the only thing that does that. So maybe I should have held it for Scroll. Now there's the Black Knight, right, on the next wave. And already... Oh, 2 Dawkins just came down. Let's get a blind on that. Oh, quick. Because he can be blind. I don't think he can be blinded, right? I mean, like, does he... I should know this. But anyway, this is a blind on that Dakin over there. And Sasquatch is basic. Clears 1 random negative effect on enemy. That's nice, though. All right, Thanos is down. And we got some more debuffs on everyone else, which is nice. And then we're going to go in for the ultimate again on somebody with an ISO, with a striker. Can't even see. Did he even have a vulnerability? I think it's that Panda Pool with the vulnerability. Honestly, we're close to Super Scroll getting to 50%. Oh no, we're stuck behind a shield security. Are you joking? So I can't stun Scroll because I'm stuck behind shield security. That's so dumb. We can kill him, right? There we go. Okay, can we? Oh, we killed Call Obsidian. Okay, 10 out of 17. So this might be doable in like 1 or 2 attacks. Honestly, this will be interesting. Can we? Oh, he doesn't spawn with the defense up. That's huge because Black Knight, and he doesn't spawn with charges. Okay, that's huge. That's huge. We're probably like semi-auto it at this point. If we can like maybe get through, there we go, and then we do some more damage. Wow, that did a lot of damage. That Sunfire ult. Yeah. By Scroll. Okay, that's not... Knowing the Black Knights didn't have charges is a pretty big deal. Still a lot of enemies to get through in 5 minutes. You basically have to semi-auto this, I think, otherwise you start to run out of time. That's not really a big deal. I think the shield securities are just there to be a pain in the ass and like taunt, because I think that's really what they're there for. Sunfire is getting an insane amount of usages on his special and ultimate. That's really crazy. But then that AoE is causing that. I think this is a win at this point. I'm going to back out because I don't want to accidentally win it. But this one doesn't seem that bad, mostly because the Black Knights are undertuned or they're nerfed. And Super Scroll is... You can deal with them because of the stuns on this team. So let's back out. Oh, shit! Let's close that down. Oh, I hope I didn't fuck it up. Whew, okay, crisis averted. I thought I'd have to apologize to everyone, all the envoys over this, but we did get to the final boss node. We get to play it. We used Alpha Flight. Honestly, worked really, really well. So even though you can use pretty much any character, and there's probably going to be lots of solutions to this, I think that Alpha Flight did work really well. And you need to have Alpha Flight anyways to get to this point, because you can't clear all the other side nodes until you have a full Alpha Flight. So I think this is a good way to beat this final node, but for sure, it's not going to be the only one. And that's it to the Spotlight Raids difficulty 2. It was harder in the Alpha Flight section than D0 was, for sure. And that's my biggest concern, I think, going forward, is being able to do that. The Spider Society section, I think because there's only 3 nodes, if you're doing this on manual, especially, I think it won't be that difficult. I think that there is room for you to be able to sim it if you so desire. But as you saw, like Ghost Spider randomly died, so it was kind of weird. But if you're doing between like multiple people, I think that if you want to manual this, like you guys can just trade off as like who does what node or whatever you want to do, right? You know, and I don't think that many nodes, and so it's not going to take that much more time out of your day, in my opinion. Obviously, a little bit more because Greek raids were pretty much all autofest. But hope that some of this footage was enlightening for you guys. The raid rewards are great; they are very good. Unfortunately, we're not getting gold orbs anymore, but we're getting a lot of gold. We're getting a lot of everything, and especially a lot of red gear, which is almost a doubling of what we had, what we didn't have, basically from the Greek raids. So I look forward to being able to try this out with my alliance, and especially now that it's 3 groups of 8. There's no more confusion over who's going where, and I'm so glad they decided to change that. That's going to be the end of this video, everyone, and good luck on your spotlight raids. And until next time, stay safe and healthy. I'll see you all later. Boilon signing out.